first-person shooter. I mean, this looks amazing. This is actually probably my #1 anticipated game of this year at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I don't know why, but I keep drawing comparisons. It's like I've watched the I've watched the demo a couple times now, and I keep drawing comparisons to Lord of the Flies, not because of the story at all, but just because of the atmosphere, just like the insanity that has taken over this island. And I love the idea that you came to the island just some jerk off tourist. Looking for a good time, and you were tortured almost to death. You escaped, and now you're the hunter. And this guy this crazy fucking, I don't even know what he is. Like
a great fucking actor is what he is. Whoever the hell that guy is.
He just
Holy
keeps
shit.
fucking with you. It's like I thought they were gonna blow the game for me because they're showing a sequence where you're going after him. You know, you've become the hunter, and you're like going to kill this guy, and you get to him and he's still fucking with you, and it's just like, oh my god, this game is insane. I mean, the end of the demo trailer was one of the best I've seen in a long time, because it was just like, you're me, I'm you, you're me, I'm you. I was like, I'm crazy.
What was the thing about this? Oh yeah, when you said that it's a lot like Lord of the Flies, you completely spoke my thoughts on that, because I was like trying to put my finger on what this reminded me of. It's a little Apocalypse Now / Heart of Darkness, but much more Lord of the Flies. Too. It's just, it has that. I really liked the minute that that mind-blowing sex scene at the beginning. I was standing actually in a Target watching it on my iPhone while my girlfriend was looking for makeup, and my jaw just dropped, and I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? And this woman nearby stared at me, and I just didn't even care, because it was one of the most surreal things I have ever seen in a game, because the moment he turns and you see the dozens of natives watching, that's when I was like, there is something about this game, story-wise at the very least, that has never been done before. I haven't even seen that in a fucking movie. That was ridiculous.
Ubisoft, I got to give them to them. They really brought it at their press conference, and they are not known for good press conferences. But as far as and this year was no exception. It was terrible. Aisha Tyler was the host, and I thought it was going to be okay till about, I'd say, the minute they introduced that jerk off on the screen that was backstage, that kept interrupting and making things very, very hard to watch and embarrassing people in the audience. I don't even know his name. I didn't even care. I was just like, douchebag.
It's Toby
that is
douchebag.
Your name from now on.
It's Toby douchebag.
Toby douchebag. And Mr. douchebag to you.
Mr. douchebag.
But yeah, and that was really, really awkward and tough to watch. But then they ground the whole thing to a halt, because they went from Far Cry almost directly into Rayman for the Wii U. And I mean, which looked awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the fact that they brought out 3 people on stage to control the characters on screen, and they all had the Wiimote, the new Wii controller, the tablet controller, except for one guy who had the Wii U Pro, and he was the one controlling Rayman, but they didn't show him.
They didn't want to show him, yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, because they don't want people to know that you're not going to be playing games with this goddamn tablet.
Yeah. Well, I think that one great thing about this press conference is that it was the first time we really got a chance to see some Wii U games before the Nintendo press conference.
Yeah, before the Nintendo press conference.
Yeah,
and it looked really good, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked fucking awesome. Especially the part where they mixed a music game into the way you're progressing through the level.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, besides the jerk-off developer, faking excitement and pretending he was a rock star, I liked.
Yeah. What I do kind of find myself being concerned about, though, is that, and I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I'm just worried that we're going to start seeing games coming out for the Wii U that all end the same way as Zombie U does, in terms of the way the title ends with the letter U, because that is a very unsettling precedent. It's kind of like, beginning everything with the word Wii, like Wii Sports, Wii Fit, Wii Play. I'm just worried about it otherwise.
I don't know. I can't imagine that would be the case. I can't imagine a lot of third parties would go for that. I mean, maybe Ubisoft, because they said in the press conference they've always been at the forefront of new technology, new consoles. They like being there, and that's very true. So maybe that was a planned out, but I can't imagine a lot of third parties following suit with that. I could Call of Duty U, Battlefield U,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 6 U.
Resident Evil U,
Well, or just
Street
like
Fighter U.
remember Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition? I mean, are we
Yeah.
gonna start looking at like, oh my God, Resident Evil 5 U Edition?
That's it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk about Zombie U for a second. We saw absolutely no gameplay,
Nope.
none whatsoever, and basically all Ubisoft did was do exactly what the Dead Island trailer did last year. That's all it was. It was just a camera moving through a stop motion scene, I guess. But it was pretty much exactly like that, with some annoying God Save the Queen going on in the background. But I still want to play it.
It'll be cool.
I haven't
sure.
seen a single bit of gameplay yet. I still want to play it.
Yeah, I mean, it had like that. That was exactly the thought I had when I was watching the trailer. Is that it was very obviously trying to tap into whatever it was that made people lose their shit with the Dead Island trailer, however many years ago. But yeah, I
Was
thought
that last year or was that the year before?
2 years ago? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe. Yeah.
The big crazy trailer that was in reverse or whatever, and
Yeah.
then was intercut with forward stuff, which was a very good trailer. This trailer was really good too. But
Well, yeah, but I was expecting a Dead World logo to pop up at the end.
that would have like Dead World exclusive. Well, not exclusive, but on the forefront of the Wii U or something. That would have been a lot more predictable, I would say. Do we even know what this game is going to be like?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing about it.
there wasn't
Not-
a single instance of gameplay.
They told us
Which was-
fucking absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They showed us nothing except in a very kind of creepy and cool trailer. That was it. That's all we got. So that's all we have to say about Zombie U, because we know nothing about it. But we can move on to. Well, this is at this point in the conference. This is where Ubisoft just went off the rails and
like usual.
taught us that the best way to bring your press conference to a screaming halt is to introduce esports.
Oh
Live.
no. It was so
You
awful.
don't do it. And I think they proved that to everybody. We'll never see it again at E3 because it was absolutely the most god-awful thing I've ever seen. They brought out boy pro gamers versus girl pro gamers, and they played probably the worst fucking first-person shooter I've ever seen in my life, and the boys kicked the girls' asses. And that went on for 15 minutes. And it was terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I don't know why they did it, but it absolutely took all the steam out of the press conference. Until they saved it, obviously, with Watch Dogs. If anybody's watching the show, listening to the show, if you haven't seen the trailer for Watch Dogs yet, or the full gameplay demo, go watch it right now. You're going to think you're bored for the first 5 minutes. But then
You're
you
gonna think
realize,
it's boring.
yeah, then you're gonna realize you're probably watching the most amazing thing you'll see at this year's E3.
As an IP, it just looks fantastic. It looks very unique. It's got a certain style that I just can't put my finger on yet. It's got some elements taken from other games. Clearly, we were talking earlier about, it has some Uncharted-ness in its shooting.
Yeah, the shooting mechanics are definitely shooting and cover mechanics definitely Uncharted.
But this open world looking technology based interactive experience that it looks like it has going on right now is just fascinating to me that they're going to pull this off. And we were talking earlier, and Alex asked the question of what the hell system is this going to be on? Because I don't know if I've seen it yet. I assume next gen, but who knows?
Yeah, well, the beginning of the gameplay demo, when he's walking through the city and you take control of him, and there's barely any difference between the cinematic and the transition to actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks fucking amazing. That is probably one of the but all he did was walk and shit. I mean, it looked like Heavy Rain good.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I'm sitting there like, how are they going to pull this off? Are we just watching a tech demo? I actually thought this. I was like, we're watching a tech demo. There's no way this is going to run on a fucking console. So maybe you guys are right. Maybe it's PC next gen. I don't know. But so you you get the protagonist, or what you think is the protagonist. You get this guy walking down the street into like this exhibit or whatever, and once in a while he's displaying his like hacking prowess, because I guess the idea behind the game is that we've gotten to a point in time where computers are running cities. You know, they've got everything on full automation. They're all linked to a central operating system, and this character is hacked into that, and he's controlling things, and he's doing things like jamming people's communications and changing stoplights from green to red real quick, and causing traffic accidents, which is all kind of cool, but nothing really kind of blew me away until you incorporated that with the actual, I guess, shooting mechanics of the game and actual action in the game. Which at that point I lost my shit. I was like, this is the best thing I've seen in a long time. What did you guys think?
Sign me the fuck up with this thing, whatever it is. I mean, obviously not PC, because I have a crap PC for gaming, but I just got done saying at some point recently, like, I'm in no rush to get the next gen system, but if this is the kind of shit we're in for, I'm eating my words, because this was awesome. I'm pretty sure it's next gen. It's either next gen or the best pre-render I've ever seen, because that looked real time to me.
Yeah, see, and that would be a huge mistake if this was like a pre-render.
Oh yeah.
Because of course they had the guy, they had the little window pop up every once in a while with the guy with the controller in his hand. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. It's like everybody does that nowadays. It don't mean shit. Right. You could just be moving the analogs. We don't know if you're fucking playing the game or not. But if this was actually a pre-render and this isn't the final product, they made a huge mistake, because this is probably going to be Game of Show. It's not very close to Game of Show.
What was the controller he was using? Did we see that?
It was, I think it was black, and I couldn't tell if it was a Wii U Pro or a 360 controller. And if it was a 360 controller, it could have just been hooked up to a PC.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't believe for a second this is a 360 game. I don't even believe it's a PS3 game, to be honest. The PS3 can push some damn fine visuals, but I don't know if it can push open world visuals like this. I mean, like, because it looked like when during a number of the scenes, it looked like not only are the details ridiculous on their own merits, it looked like a lot of the other buildings by the way, the fact that this takes place in Chicago just even got me more excited.
Was it Chicago?
That was Chicago.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
And
that is awesome.
And even more awesome, yeah, because we're all in Chicago. I mean, it's something that got me really excited. But looking at this, so I noticed that a number of the buildings seem to have actual interiors. So on top of this ridiculous detail outside, the potential for being able to go into every building, I mean, like, or at least most buildings or something like that, that just strikes me as being very next gen like. That's the kind of thing that I would expect to see from the next gen. But I mean, all this like superficial stuff aside, I thought that the game looked like it was a lot of fun to play. I like that the idea of listening in on that cell phone conversation that woman was having.
See,
talking
I knew
about
you were going to dig that shit. Before they actually got to the shooting mechanics in the game and before the firefight started, I was sitting there watching the whole thing like, Alex is going to love this. This is his next Heavy Rain.
Yeah, it's so cool though, because like, what if you didn't listen to that? That was like just fluid gameplay, because if you hadn't listened to that, you would arguably not know that they were coming for you. I mean, and then, the potential for how many things could go on in that scene alone was, it was like flooding my fucking brain. I couldn't even imagine how much is going on there, because if it really is as open as they make it look, that's really what the selling point is. In fact, that was they were talking, weren't they, about how you can tackle a mission in multiple ways, that sort of thing.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, adding all of that together is awesome.
The amount of, we didn't see a ton of the open worldness. We only saw a small section of the game, but it seems like this is going to be, I don't want to say as big as GTA 4, as far as